All right, let's hear a New Hampshire live podcast. Come on. There you go. And if you're listening at home and you can't hear or see us, tweet people at the Shell and, I don't know, maybe they'll let me know. But if not, let's get into it. I've got a presentation for everybody here tonight. I'm going to make my case that we should be leaving the Free State and joining Putin. I know you guys all moved up here to New Hampshire. You thought that we could get together, make a free state. It's bullshit. We want to make a change in the world. We got to go to Ukraine. That's how we're going to make a change. All right, so I'm going to make my case. Start off. So Putin, it happened just yesterday or 2 days ago. He started his military operation in Ukraine. And there's one thing I love about when governments attack each other, which is I once had when I was I think I was 15 or 16 years old. I got pulled over by a cop. Cop pulls me over. It was late at night. I was stoned out of my brains. It was like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., whatever the fuck it was. And the cop says, hey, there's two of you, one of me. For my safety, I'm going to have to pull you out of the car, search you, and search your vehicle. Now, me and my friend were both pudgy Jews from Connecticut. There's no safety concerns. You couldn't look at any two other individuals. Remember, I had hair at the time. I was just a cute, dorky kid. I didn't have this racist face I do now. Right? I was just a fucking pudgy kid. And so for safety, he has to pull me out, right? So that's what's great. So governments lie, but it's funny when Putin does it to us, So in this case, he's saying that he's going in there to demilitarize Ukraine. That was his first claim. And then his second one is that he wants to denazify the area, which you got to give him credit because denazify is pretty original. So he wants to denazify. He wants to demilitarize. So essentially, Putin's just trying to help Ukraine with its tourism. That's it. He's like, visit Ukraine. I've demilitarized and denazified the region. So it is now safe for you guys to visit. And then when I was reading this, and then also in terms of this was day one, they were trying to go nuts at Russia, that there's been 40 civilian deaths. But just to put that in perspective, that's like half of a typical U.S. drone strike. So just to kind of give some numbers, and, that's not even that many kids. So rookie numbers, exactly. It's first day of invading another country. And then I love this. So the response of America was that the U.S. and its allies would respond in a united and decisive way. And they've been talking about for a while that Putin's going to go in. So here's our response. We're going to have to actually get together and decide what to do. You guys don't have a plan in place yet? Really, you haven't come up with what you're going to do yet. We have to get everyone together and come. And then I was thinking that as a joke. And then I'm reading the New York Times, and apparently the House and Senate are out of session. They're so used to after Corona, they're getting worse at pretending like there's an emergency. They're exhausted. They're like, I'm on vacation. I'm not coming in. You can go bother someone else. And then so Putin, he gave his speech last night. Did anyone of you guys watch that speech? Good point. I get confused. It would be great if you were in my house when I did it live, and then I could find out how many times I just say something that's totally wrong. Because I just think I'm right because there's no one there, and I just talk, and I'm like, I'm a genius, and then it just takes one person to be like, you're talking about the wrong world leader. So we got Biden, and any of you guys watch the speech? I'll sum it up for you. So he looks at what's going on in Russia, and he basically just went full Big Lebowski, and he was like, this aggression won't stand, man. That's it. It was just a whole speech of, we're not going to stand for this aggression. And then just to sum up the speech, he was like, let me be clear. If you think you can escalate things, we'll really fucking escalate things. We're going to sanction you guys, and then just hopefully you'll be nice and you won't hack us or whatever. That's the crazy thing, is that Russia can still hack us. We're just pretending, you know what I mean? They hacked us when we weren't at war. We're just pretending like we're going to get away with sanctions. All right. So then to dig into the speech a little bit, just because this is how full of nonsense Biden is. So this was one of his lines, and I want to be clear, the next few weeks and months will be hard on the people of Ukraine. Putin has unleashed a great pain on them, but the Ukrainian people have known 30 years of independence, and they have repeatedly shown that they will not tolerate anyone who tries to take their country backwards. So this is always like Biden's thing. Like he's always talking to like the soul of the nation. It's always like this gibberish, like the heart and soul. And in this case, he's saying that they just won't tolerate it, which is almost like if you had a fighter who was about to go fight. You guys know Francis Naganu? He's the heavyweight champion in the UFC. So you're about to go, you got a fighter, and he's about to go fight Francis Naganu, but your fighter looks like this. And Biden's like, listen, you got something that Francis guy does. You have heart and soul, kid. You know, he doesn't stand a chance with your soul, and then you get in there, and that's what happens, just instantly. Like, because obviously, right? And yeah, good luck, Ukraine. I mean, they're 3 days in, they're holding up, but it's not going to work out. And then, all right, so they go to the section where they start asking questions. And we know Biden, he's not good with questions. That's not his specialty. He's like, listen, I can pretend to read a teleprompter. That I can do. But questions, he starts to fumble. So one of the questions was, thank you, sir. Sanctions clearly have not been enough to deter Vladimir Putin to this point. What is going to stop him? How and when does this end? And do you see him trying to go beyond Ukraine? And so Biden responds to this. First, he starts, and by the way, because he always is question one, question two. I'm kind of abridging here. So to that question, he said, no one expected the sanctions to prevent anything from happening. So the sanctions, yeah, I mean, there it is. So for starters, he's going with the COVID thing. Hey, we never said it wasn't going to get you sick. You know what I mean? This is the vaccine thing all over. It's like, hey, yeah, we never said the vaccine was going to prevent anything. And then also, if we didn't expect sanctions to prevent anything from happening, so what, we're going to go more with the strategy that doesn't work? Like, that's what you're saying. Hey, we got a non-working strategy, so we're going to do more of it. And I think the problem with, we've been sanctioning Russia forever. You know what I mean? Like, do you think, this to me is like, you guys remember that scene in Dumb and Dumber when they walk into the apartment and the apartment's just like filled with worms? They're like, hey, you want to trash the place? And they're like, I don't think he'll get the message. That's Putin. He's been fucking training for this shit. Putin, we've been sanctioning Putin forever. He does not care. All right. And so the next part that I want to point out on this is that he's talking about that in order for the sanctions to work, it's going to take time. It's not going to occur. He's going to say, oh my God, these sanctions are coming. I'm going to stand down. He's going to test the resolve of the West to see if we stay together, and we will impose significant costs on him. The other line, by the way, I'm skipping around here a little bit, but he said what's coming so the people of Russia know what he's brought on them, which how terrible is it? So we're going to punish the people of Russia? Like, what does that do? So, like, the people are, you know what? Okay, but real thing I want to point out here is he's saying that this is going to take time. Next question comes from the guy who looks like a worm over at Fox News. Here's when the next slide's supposed to come up. And by the way, for this guy is Biden's kryptonite, just because, like, he's calm, is not an alpha dude, and asks questions. That's all it takes, is a calm guy asking questions. So he asks, and this, once again, I'm abridging, how economically painful is it going to get for people in this country? And then he goes, the notion that this is going to last for a long time is highly unlikely. So it just took two questions. That's all it took. Was first question was, hey, listen, it's going to take a long time for this to work. Next question, don't worry, it's not going to be a long time. So Biden's defense strategy is essentially when you're trying to have sex with someone you like for the first time, and it takes a long time to get there and doesn't last a long time. So he wants to say, as long as we continue to stay resolved in imposing the sanctions, we're going to impose on Russia. And then that's his whole thing, is that he starts off and he's like, let me be clear. I'm going to make point number one. Then I'm going to make point number two. Then I'm going to tell you it's about heart and souls. And then I'll say something affirmative and we'll be done with it. Like, he never makes any sense. And now, I don't want anyone to cum their pants in here, but I'm going to read some Rothbard. Can you guys handle it? All right. We've all read things that have blown our minds. This was one piece from Anatomy of the State that really changed my entire opinion on government. And I think it's going to give us a good framework for analyzing the situation with Russia currently. So I'm going to read it. One of the basic doctrines of the state was to identify itself with the territory it governed. Since most men tend to love their homeland, the identification of that land and its people with the state was a means of making natural patriotism work to the state's advantage. If Ruritania was being attacked by Moldavia, the first task of the state and its intellectuals was to convince the people of Ruritania that the attack was really upon them and not simply upon the ruling caste. In this way, a war between rulers was converted into a war between peoples, with each people coming to the defense of its rulers and the erroneous belief that the rulers were defending them. The device of nationalism has only been successful in Western civilization in recent centuries. It was not too long ago that the massive subjects regarded wars as irrelevant battles between various sets of nobles. I feel like that, if you can accept that, it is still true to this day, and is the perfect framework for breaking down what's going on now between us and Russia. So for starters, I mean, maybe this is New York Times propaganda, but this was headlines from New York Times, Washington Post. People in Russia, they're not into it. I think you come to America, you know what people care about? Gas prices. That's what they care about. Seriously, I really think people are going to see through this one, because they're going to try and shame us. They're going to go, we have to do something to help the people of Ukraine. And I think people just saw what happened in Afghanistan, and they're like, you're lying to us. You're not trying to help. Keep us the fuck out of this. Like, you're not helping anybody. And if we start just staying out of this, I think people are starting to realize we'll be better off, and we're not going to have to pay. Like, people don't want to pay high. Like, this is going to, by the way, I think this is going to be good news for all this green energy bullshit. When people have to start paying money, they're just going to be like, fuck that. Now, I want to comment, because we all hate inflation. Inflation sucks, but I've noticed that there's one thing worse than inflation, and that's pretending like there isn't inflation. And what I mean by that is when you go to a hotel and they're like, listen, we haven't raised our prices, but you need to start bringing your own towels. You can't check in till 8 p.m., and we're offering complimentary cleaning supplies because you got to clean your own rooms. And then you wake up in the morning, you want to get some breakfast. You go to the breakfast area, and there's just a sign there that says, due to supply line issues, we're no longer able to make free breakfast available. We still do, however, have complimentary ice between the hours of 9 to 5 if you call ahead. We also have made this picture available as a reminder of what our breakfast area used to look like. And you're like, shit, I got to go out for breakfast. And then there's a sign there that says, we won't be raising prices, but you will have to bring your order to the kitchen, wait 30 minutes, and do some dishes. And sandwiches are now half sandwiches. So this is like the new thing where it's like, it's almost like Biden called up every corporation. He's like, listen, man, you can't raise your prices. You just have to offer shitty services. That's what we're doing. Just give them less for what they used to pay for. So I almost would prefer, I would prefer if there was just inflation. You go, all right, prices are going up, or I can pay this and still get what I used to get. Like, this to me is almost more annoying when everywhere you show up to, like, they pretend like they can't hire people, and that's why they can't give you service. All right. So just to I honestly think that most people, I don't think they're going to get the support of like most of America. I think people are going to start looking through this and being like, this is bullshit. We don't want to be involved. And part of that is now they call it like Obama. And you know, when Obama's coming out, that the American public's like, fuck this. Like, he's like the rattle to a baby. You know what I mean? When he's out there letting people know that, I guess, you're raising gas prices, just a donation to the people of Ukraine. So I got two competing conspiracy theories in my head for what's going on here. One, they're covering up for COVID and inflation. Maybe this thing doesn't escalate. I mean, this is fucking bonkers conspiracy right here, that this thing doesn't escalate. They were just like, shit, we got to do something to cover our ass for inflation. We need some news coverage for the fact that we're walking back all of our COVID strategies. Maybe the thing doesn't escalate, and this is just fucking theater for a little bit of a chunk of time, and that's not going to be a good sign for inflation, but they'll quietly be able to walk back COVID, and, you know, they'll let prices start going up and pretending like it was just a war with Russia. I'm like, I would say 10% chance that's accurate, if even. I think what's really going on, and this goes back to the Rothbard thing, this has nothing to do with us. We've got American politicians. They figured out a way to make profits off of what's going on in Ukraine. I haven't researched this. This is also just wildly speculative. But I think it's just about Nord Stream 2. I think we don't want Nord Stream 2 going on. We don't want that bumping into fucking natural gas prices. Biden's got something going on with Burisma and his profits in the area. So they went over there. They're hanging out with their oligarchs. They got all these profits. And then Putin finally turned around. He's like, fuck this. Like, you can go make money anywhere else in the world, but don't tell me I can't have Nord Stream. And he just finally said, fuck this. Like, no, we're going in. Like, I'm going to show it. Like, this is our area for profits, which brings me to the last point of why I feel like if we went over to Ukraine and showed our support for Putin and more Americans did that, then our world leaders couldn't pretend like this was between us and the Russian people. So, like, I feel like that's kind of the important part, is that we got to disconnect everyone from government and just be like, this is not our fight. This has nothing to do with us. You are lying. You're not going to help the people of Ukraine. You're just going to, like, this has nothing to do with us. You're just going to get more people killed. So that's my take on the Russian thing. And with that, we're going to get into the live podcast because I got some incredible guests lined up for you guys. We're going to be rolling. This is going to be a long pod. So like with stand up, if you got up to use the bathroom, I would harass you. If you heckled me, I'd give you a hard time. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be going late. So, feel free to take a smoke break, whip out your dick, whatever you got to do. I hadn't gotten a laugh in a while. That was cheap, but all right. Let's welcome to the stage the other people hanging out for the live pod. First, we have Jeremy Kaufman, very own. Come on, clap it up. That's a free stater. I gotta move this down. It's a wrestling match. I didn't tell you that. Fucking cage match, me versus Jeremy Kaufman. All right, we got BK, Chris, Andy Malifarina. We're going to get into some more topics. Give me a second just to turn on some mics. If you guys got to take a leak or smoke or do whatever drugs you guys do up here, go ahead. People on the stream, we're going to be continuing in just about 30 seconds. Just got to turn on some mics. Oh, I'll take a chair too, actually.
Okay. I'm sorry for you. I mean, you missed out on some beer. That's not,
This beer's like a nick. Yeah, I gotta grab my Chris. Let's swap seats.
yeah, tell me where to sit, by the way.
No, you're good. I want to be close to my laptop. Yeah, that'd be great. Lucas, you guys are wearing the same shirt. Wow. Where in the world are you going to wear suits?
Yeah, we'll do that. Good to meet you, dude. That was a great set. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
You been up here before?
No, first time.
All right.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of these. We've got like 4 of them now. Not like they're like affiliated, but there's like different cities have had different people start like these clubhouses type thing. Yeah.
No, this place is sick.
Yeah.
It's always annoying when I don't know where my mouse is.
How you have because people
Yeah.
I was gonna say I got more excited.
Oh, no.
So I just quote you.
We'll try and pull everyone in a little bit. Actually, I'll slide down.
All three of you live in the city?
I live in Jersey, but I go to New York regularly.
I'm from Philadelphia originally.
Oh, nice. What part?
A little bit north, but I lived in the city for a while.
Yeah, Philly's fun. It used to be kind of lame for comedy, but it's gotten a lot better recently. It's been very fun going to Philly doing comedy.
The show. This is maybe between 1 to 2 years, my guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah. Are we still live? We could be talking right now. Are we live right now?
We're definitely not live on a thing, but we could.
Do you do show, like, I know you do comedy shows, do you do like video, do you have a channel?
We all have podcasts and stuff.
Everything's live.
Check.
Yep.
Start back up. I wanted to just but then I can tell what the chairs are going to do.
How long is this go? This is like half an hour,
I would assume 45, but it doesn't matter. If it's cooking or cooking, if it's not, keep it moving. All right, guys, we are going to come back and get into the second half of this thing. Before we do, I am a Jew, so I will take this moment to plug merch. If you would like to celebrate this lovely evening, you can go to theblackcaptain.com, get yourself Fire at the Shell shirts. People at home, people here, get yourself some merch.
He wants you guys to buy merch, but he didn't even pay for a second domain name.
That is an accurate statement. All right, so we are back, and before I got a handful of topics that we are going to dive into, some important stuff. Anyone want to refute my take on the Ukraine situation? Anyone else got a different hot take?
You didn't put in that Putin was kind of cute.
Dude, hold on. Doesn't it like if you took Robbie and then he evolved into that guy right there in the third row, they would be evolutions of Pokemon until they got to Putin?
It's not bad. It's not bad. You might need another person to bridge it a little bit.
You guys would be a fire type, though, right?
What was that?
You're a fire type, though.
What is that? I don't know Pokemon.
Andy, help me out here.
I like how you're secretly the gayest person I know. Like you come on, a big tough guy. Yeah.
Well, I literally was talking to Chris, like, I might buy the new Pokemon game.
Yeah, that's a conversation to keep to yourself. But
that was car talk. That's what that was.
Car talk?
Yeah.
Well, you're running for Senate. What's your take on Ukraine? This is your chance to show off your diplomacy skills.
Stay. I don't care about the that's my take. I don't care about the diploma. Stay the hell out of it. Stay the hell out. Countries attack each other all the time. People fight each other all the time. United States fights. Just stay the hell out of it. Like, that's not an endorsement of anything that's happening. But it's two shitty countries attacking each other.
Right?
They're
You're like,
both
hey,
shitty countries.
you're like,
I'm not-
at least
yeah.
if these were good countries, I would care.
Well,
But these are fucking shitty countries.
That's a good dig. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they're
Shithole
fucking-
countries.
And they're fucking ugly.
Yeah. You're like, call me when hot, attractive people are fighting.
I mean, I'm not.
Call me when Jamaica's at war.
Wait, that's your example of a not shitty, attractive country?
Have you seen the Jamaican running team at the Olympics?
Oh.
Google it. Trust me.
Bolt?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's got the nicest dick at the Olympics.
No, the gals. They got solid rumps.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, it's you gave that like Rothbard quote. It's like that's the way we should be regarding. We should have sympathy for the innocent people who are getting hurt. But like wrapping up, it's the fact that they gin this up so quickly about this one situation when this shit happens all the time. It's absurd, and we shouldn't fall for that trap.
There's a list of invasions since 2020 on Wikipedia, and it's like 4 I've never heard of. Like just around the world. Yeah, like
just
there was like
countries
an
you haven't
African
even heard of.
coalition invaded Gambia in 20 like.
I never
19.
even heard of a Gambia. It
Yeah,
sounds like
I didn't know that was
Oh,
the
that
thing.
shit
Yeah.
was crazy.
Sounds
We
like a slur for
tailgated it.
Italians.
Ukraine's they're conscripting people now. If you're a male under 35, that number might be wrong. You can't leave the country. They won't let you out.
I'm surprised that everyone in Ukraine wasn't just like, well, this is a wash. Like, I'm surprised they even bothered defending. I'm actually surprised. I'm even surprised it's gone this long.
I think Russia's surprised.
Yeah.
They might lose for that reason.
Dude, what's the deal with that ace fighter? I only saw the picture in the New York Post, but there's that one guy who's just fucking up Russian planes. Did you guys see that one?
I saw the guy paratrooping with the fucking TikTok going. We got a real Zoomer army situation going on in the
Yeah,
Eastern
dude,
Bloc.
that's the part that like
Yeah.
fucking watching war in HD is weird.
Yeah. They're doing TikTok videos with the bayonets and shit. It's weird.
Even the Taliban, once they took over Afghanistan, went straight to TikTok and
Oh, yeah.
Instagram to take selfies.
Yo, the Taliban was a party, dude. They were go-karting and
Dude, they told them they can't bring their guns to the amusement park anymore, and then the amusement park shut down.
that's the best.
Just like if it was in New Hampshire.
Didn't the Taliban put out a statement where they were like, all these innocent lives?
Ukraine.
They called for peace.
Yeah, dude, they put out a statement. Taliban's just trolling.
We're crating our women in from there all the time.
How about no one's been banned yet? We've seen all this deplatforming. You can start a war. That's cool. You won't get deplatformed for starting a war.
You mean Putin should be banned? Is
I'm
Putin
not.
on
I'm not
social
calling.
media?
I'm against people being banned, so I'm not calling for that. But it's just like people get deplatformed for the most inane stuff, and now you can start a war, and that's like, all right, that's fine.
Wait, is Putin on social media? Does he
I mean,
have
a bunch of the Russian government channels.
Oh.
Putin, yeah.
I am on his OnlyFans. It's wild.
Yeah. Dude, he fucked that bear after he wrestled it.
Yo, no, there's more. When he was shirtless on that horse, there's more pictures.
Putin actually pulled a cool move where Facebook, I think, was I don't know, they were doing something with their posts, and so he just banned Facebook from Russia.
Yes, dude.
Which is like, and that's, by the way, I talked about this on Running Math. That's the bit, like, all this talk about sanctions. The biggest sanction is when China and Russia just goes, you know what, we're not using the US dollar. That's the fucking nuclear option of sanctions. And then they're talking about SWIFT. Like, they're talking about that Russia's not going to be able to have access to SWIFT anymore. Every single crypto in the world, I'm a fan of crypto, I invest in crypto. The pitch of every crypto, it's like casino chips. And they go, listen, there's going to be demand for our casino chips because you're going to be able to do X activity with it. And since there's going to be demand for our casino chips, there's going to be a market for it. And that's where the value is made. So what happens when Russia leaves SWIFT and then all of a sudden they start using the China system instead? Now you've just created value for the China system. I don't think we're winning here by, you know what I mean? It's like they're not like the biggest country, but they're still a pretty big country. All right, fair enough.
The China system is the worst diet of all time.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say I'm supposed to be like the serious take guy here, so you're just kind of stealing my bit.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
All right,
No.
so unless anyone else has another take on the Russia situation.
One more is like the sanctions. We talk about sanctions like it's punishing the Russian people. It is. Ones who aren't involved in the war. It's also punishing Americans, right? Like that's a tax on Americans. When we as Americans can't trade with people in other countries, that's a tax on us. So it is hurting. Like obviously the war hurts them more, but like we shouldn't think that costs us as well. when we do that kind of thing. And I think that's a point that gets left out a lot. So did want to make it.
Well, just wait till prices start going up, and we're going to see everyone when they're getting pissed off. I forgot to. We're skipping a couple slides here. Did any of you guys see
I
this
saw this.
video?
Oh yeah, she was hot. I agree with her. She was so hot and right about all the things she said.
Dude, this chick is she even famous? What the hell?
I don't
movie
know.
is she
She's
in?
really hot.
She's very hot.
Oh my Christ.
I want another like celebrity take similar to like the Black Lives Matter one where they're taking responsibility. I want that.
No,
with
you
this
the one where
situation.
the fucking dude from Breaking Bad was like, I was so racist on set.
Yeah, they did this.
So
I think
funny.
they need to take credit for this one. They took credit for all the black people getting shot by cops. I think they should take credit for the war.
They should.
Take responsibility.
It's just Viggo Mortensen apologizing for the shower scene in Eastern Promises over and over again. Am I the only one that watches movies? What the fuck is wrong with you people?
We're weird up here, man. It's a bubble.
Dude,
Now-
I got weird when you guys. I was shitting on Biden during my set before, and fucking these guys are like clammed up worse than a coffee shop in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, New Hampshire?" There you go.
They don't,
Good
they don't-
answer.
They don't recognize him up here.
Oh, nice.
All right. So my question is like, this got 26.5 million views. Is it great to be a hot chick that you can be this fucking retarded and everyone still goes, "Hey, I love what you're doing"?
Dude,
or is that the curse of being a hot chick? That
I
you
was
do shit this.
Oh, we'll
fucking
watch
stupid.
it in a second.
Yeah,
You'll
dude,
see.
it's so. I was thinking about this. I was like, is this great or like a living hell? Because like she's sitting there making the. You didn't see the video? She's like,
Oh.
Putin, if I was
Wait.
your mommy, I would totally tell you how to be a good boy. Like it was weird shit like that.
If you could find a 4-year-old and have them write an angry poem about Putin, that's what this is. But then the problem is, of the 26.5 million, how many of them, if they saw her in person, would go, "You changed my life with that poem. That poem changed my life." And then you
All
think,
of us.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
I did that. I found her address. I stood outside and I yelled that at her.
So I'm asking, is it a gift or a curse to be a hot? Because like at some point she's going to be.
It's definitely a curse because no one in her circle was like, "Hey, this is a bad idea. You're not even really famous, lady."
right.
I'll read this girl's name. Anna Lynn McCord. Anybody heard of her? One dude.
Yeah, he's
Also creepiest face in here. Whatever.
he's like, I Googled her after I jerked off to the video.
He's
What?
wearing a
Okay, wait,
copper
wait.
chain under a blazer. What the fuck is going on with this guy?
What is the context that you knew her from prior?
He did her plastic surgery for $48. That's how she got the titties.
See, Chris, they like you.
Jeremy, do you have something on this?
Yeah, talk
Are we-
about
are
the
we
hot chick.
Are we gonna watch it? I do think in you mentioned 4-year-olds. I mean, in the Free State, I
He's
think
holding out for that Ukraine pussy.
We've
I read your Twitter.
we've got a lot of 4-year-old kids here who I think understand foreign policy better than most of the Biden administration. So I will mention that.
So I didn't
We
like
gotta
in the
show at
video
least a
'cause-
minute to these guys.
Nah, I've been having audio problems when I did the freeze frame. Move on to the next topic.
Oh, I'll put it on my phone. I don't give a shit.
FDA authorizes first condom specifically marketed for anal sex.
What is it, 1985? We don't even need this anymore.
just another thing the FDA held back. I mean, we would have had this.
Wait, so
Also,
butt ba-
racist that it's black. I mean, come on.
Andy, you take the most dicks in your ass. What do you got on this?
I didn't know butt babies were real. I thought it was just a goof with the boys.
Dude, how do you think they populate the prisons that much? Come on.
Dude, that beanie does feel racist, right? You know what I mean?
If it wasn't
Dude, calling it a beanie is racist.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, we put a Scully on here for you fellas, right?
we could have had challenge trials if it wasn't for the FDA on this one.
You got to explain
Challenge trial. It's like you just rather than like doing all the tests, you just like go right to humans and see if it works. Like with the vaccine, you go to challenge trials. You just like, we give you the vaccine. It's been out for like a month. We just pay you like $10,000. You just take it.
Wait, so there are people that were paid by the FDA to
No,
fuck?
we didn't do well. We could have done that. I mean, not by the FDA, but like let people.
But that's a
let
good
the
question.
condom maker,
How are
not the
you
FDA.
testing this against other condoms to establish that this is the better one for anal sex?
Probably monkeys.
Like, I'd like to know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd like to see that lab of, not because I'm into monkey sex. Don't be weird here, people.
No,
I
it's an
wasn't trying to
AIDS thing,
say.
dude.
Specifically, Robbie would like to see every test, everyone.
I I would love to know. I mean,
Do your own research.
I
First of all,
think
what if you've just like been a gay dude fucking dudes in the ass with regular condoms, and they're like, by the way, guys, those didn't really work. Like, what the fuck? How mad would you be? Like,
What makes them special for anal?
They're denser.
extra lube. You don't have
Yeah.
to spit on it.
They're slippery. The poo falls off better.
Yeah.
it comes with Magic Johnson's
They're
face
Oh,
on
Robbie,
it.
Robbie,
Yeah.
you
They're just brown, so you don't get embarrassed after.
Oh!
Well, actually, they're made for men, so they're cheaper. You don't have to pay as much.
Oh, you just have to buy one for fucking appearances.
All right. In other creepy news, we have people speaking out against Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis is getting Me Too'd, which
The flubber dude.
I wasn't gonna bring this up, but now, I mean, I met Jerry Lewis once, and he touched me.
where?
In my heart.
Oh, there you go. Well, I think, like, generally speaking, with the Me Too, like, I get it. I think it was probably an important change to society, but I don't feel like we do enough to recognize all the women that kept their fucking mouths shut and let us still enjoy great art. You see what I'm saying? Like, we only still have Led Zeppelin because people kept their fucking mouths shut.
Yo, right? How did Led Zeppelin never get? You guys ever hear the octopus thing?
Yeah. They fucked that girl with a fish, right?
Yeah, like people are like, nah, dude, whole lot of love rules. Don't fucking talk about it.
But, like, can we he's fucking dead, you know?
Also, he did all that good stuff for fucking retarded kids. Like, it's like, what? All right,
well, they
whatever.
look retarded, so that's on
All
them.
right,
They
their
had
arms were retarded.
had
I was
Whatever.
nice enough to not say waterheads. I mean, Jesus, lady. Fuck.
How dare you pretend like that was Chris's error?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was dead, so.
That is weird.
Well, I only knew he was
It's like
dead.
the French lost World War II again. Jesus Christ.
I only knew he was dead because when I saw the head, I was like, wait, isn't he dead? And then he was, and I was like, I think you're a little late on canceling a dead guy.
Is this from the Hugh Hefner documentary? Is that what's making this come out?
Oh,
they
you
were
mean
getting
that
at
they're
him,
going
too.
after all the, and he, by the way, he was doing all the classics, whipping out his dick, had the room with the locked doors. Like,
Oh.
apparently he was the innovator.
Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
Nice. You know,
And
he doesn't get enough credit comedically, really.
I never watched one of his films. Not one.
The Nutty Professor was his film, and then Eddie Murphy remade it. Little comedy history for everyone.
Is there a single, like, just Jerry Lewis's movies or anything? His
I
career
just
movie?
know his name. I don't like. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen any Jerry.
He's
Lewis
one of those
shit.
guys like Seinfeld will talk about how great Jerry Lewis was, but
You
it's
ever watched like the Dean Martin roast and all that shit? Martin and Lewis.
not
My
much.
dad was old as fuck. Is really the moral of this story. My dad was born in 1930. Is how I learned that.
No, Jerry Lewis didn't watch any Jerry Lewis films.
I told you my Jerry Lewis story.
Right, that he touched your heart because you were such a big fan.
With his penis. It was that big, dude.
He's like, my heart's in my asshole.
By the way, you were talking about
And they didn't have anal condoms back then.
I feel like there's no little dick guys that get in trouble for whipping their dicks out. I feel like that's a big dick guy.
Well, Louis C.K.
You can't.
No,
really,
he has a big dick.
Oh, they
That's-
says
can't
that
really
in
whip
there?
For a ginger.
What?
For a ginger.
Yo, that's our word, dude.
You can't use that with a hard
Sorry,
R, dude.
ginger. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think the ratio is, though, of the people that complain to the women that when you pull out a fat hog are like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think's the ratio? Like,
Oh,
if
you're
like,
saying
I'm
if
saying
you
if
just
you're one
pull
of
out
these-
it-
if you're one of these big dick dudes who's showing off, like pulling out their big
Mhm.
dick, like there's got to be some amount of women who are like,
That seems nice.
oh, versus what that you just
Ladies?
ruined my life.
Yeah, anyone have some stats for us in the audience? There's no-
That is a great moment.
This girl
with
just this lady just thumbs down fucking big dicks. It's fucking, you guys
that
really
your
do things
husband?
differently here.
Is that
How big's your
husband?
cock, sir?
Yeah, no.
Little?
Enough said.
Jesus. With that work
Enough
shirt?
said. Shout out to my meat and potatoes motherfucker over here.
Yeah.
Hey, man, hung like a tuna can. You know, not much for death, but you rip her at the sides.
All right. Next news story. Now we're going to get into the real topics here. So transgender bathroom stuff is always coming up. In this case, this was I don't even know how to say this politely. So I'm going to try my best here. started off as a lady, identifies as a man.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to a high school. From what I remember this article, he goes to a high school, and in the high school they built one of like the single bathrooms, so he could use the single bathroom, but he wants to use the men's room with the other boys.
Oh, you know what his pronouns are?
I couldn't tell you.
They're annoying.
So let's just go with everyone's take on, generally speaking, the whole, like, all right, I don't think anyone's coming out as anti people transgendering, but specifically on the bathrooms.
I mean, it's like kind of more fine if you were a chick who became a dude and want to use dude's bath, right? Like that's like, it's the other way that seems to be problematic, right?
I think at first my initial opinion was if you're kind of in this category, just go for the shorter line.
Yeah,
like we can improve traffic,
yeah.
and it kind of like it works.
Yeah.
Now my new approach
Just
is
pee in the sink in the ladies' room, whatever. Move
Yeah.
along.
I played college sports, and we would travel with like 15 dudes, and we would roll up to a rest stop. We would just all go in the women's restroom because like fucking not gonna all wait to use the one male
Right.
restroom. So I gotta say this makes that scenario a lot easier for that kind of thing in the future. It's like, well,
Do you think
You
he
don't
should?
know.
Oh, because
You
it's
don't
more
know. Yeah.
it's more ambiguous.
yeah. This is single rooms. To be clear, I'm not talking about going into like the multi-stall situation, but it's like you have these restrooms. It's like there's one for women and one for
Oh, I
men.
always use that ladies' room.
Yeah, if
That's
there's
not even
wait,
a question.
If there's a wait,
I pee
mean,
all over that seat. Are you
Well-
kidding me? If there's no one there,
Dude, I think the way, just put every men's room just have a trough, and like I don't think any transitioning woman has to deal with a trough, right?
I think my new approach is, because I feel like my first one was not sensitive. So my new one is you have to if you fully transitioned, if you can walk up to the urinal line with your new tranny dick, you're
Mhm.
good. You can use it.
Mhm.
But like if you got to lift up and try and spray vagina spray,
But it
Like-
might be force of habit. It's like muscle memory at that point,
oh,
right?
where you still lift your
Yeah,
leg,
yeah.
you're still sitting down.
They
to
use
go,
the
just-
small person urinal like in the truck stop. You know, there's like a little kid urinal.
Those are
They just go
just-
squat
you
but
just-
spray
you just
forward.
put
Put your leg
Shelter.
up. Anyone else got a way to solve this issue?
I was just gonna say, like, because I feel like transitioning is a huge down payment. You know what I mean? If you put that much money in, you can use what bathroom you want, dude.
That's what I'm saying. You're committed to it.
You know what I mean? Like, are you $50K in debt? Yeah, dude, you can piss with us.
If that's gonna make you feel better.
Yeah, man. You're one of the boys. You spent all that money. You're one of the boys.
All right. Next topic. Supreme Court takes up case of web designer who won't work with same-sex couples. So we had a case a couple years ago with the the baker, Christian baker, doesn't want to bake cakes. This case, my question is, if you're a web designer for weddings and you won't take gay clients, who the fuck is using you? That sounds like the gayest thing in the world, a web design for your wedding. That would be your entire customer base.
Yeah.
What straight guy is like, I need a website for my wedding? It's not a what? The women want the website.
Ladies love that.
All right, I'll let everyone else go first. What do you got? What do you got, Andy?
Supreme Court takes up web design. That's such like a weird thing to also not like gay people. You know what I mean? Like I design websites and I hate homos.
Well, what if they
You know
don't?
what I mean? That's not like a combo. You know what I mean? It's like being a drag queen and then also just being like marriage is a man. And a
What
woman.
if they love homosexuals, but they like being featured on CNN more?
Oh, you're saying this is publicity. They're just going for the
I'm not saying that. I'm just
Chris.
it fits.
Why do you even need to know that they're gay? Like, just fucking just design the website. Just put do some like Disney shit and put some fucking weird gay porn in the background. It's fine.
Because when gay people have really gay weddings and you got to put up those pictures and you're a Christian and you got to look at all these gay pictures.
Why do you put it?
That is great, dude. Designing the website and every time you post a picture, you're like, oh, god damn it! Oh,
What do they think's coming out of the chocolate fountain at a gay wedding? I don't understand.
Do you imagine like being disgusted and remembering JavaScript? Like,
I don't understand the concept of forcing somebody to do something. Like, if you're hiring an employee, the last thing you want is an employee with a bad attitude or someone who, like, if you're throwing a wedding and you need a website, you probably want a good website. You want someone who's going to give everyone, like, malware and like, or you want a cake that's not going to taste good because the guy didn't want to make your cake. Like, I don't understand the concept of someone telling you, I don't want your business, and then going, like, that's like being a slave. No, you have to do this task for me.
Yeah,
Very
No,
odd.
I don't want your money. I don't want, like, and by the way, I'm not, like, if you were to put up a sign that said, we are a bigoted business and we refuse to service these people, I might not go to your business. It depends on how good your business is, you know? Like, you have to make really good cakes. Like, you'd have to be the best bakery in my town for you to put up a sign that says, we discriminate against this group of people, and me to just be like, yeah, but their cookies are really good.
They'd have to be a medium cookie. I'd
Yeah.
like eating with you at night. Like, it's,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think though, that if we're gonna have this concept of, you know, protected classes, we've got to expand it to include, you know, all kinds of minorities. Well, like if you you know, libertarians, for example, you know,
I think I agree with you that
Right.
political philosophy should be political speech should be protected the same as religion or anything else. You shouldn't be able to get fired from your job or anything because of some political idea, same as you can't get fired from your job for, you know, being gay. And being gay is way worse.
yeah, like I'd rather have none of it, right? I'd rather have none
Right.
of this stuff. But it's like, whoever this person in this case is, the web designer, you could now deny her a website, right? Like if she wanted someone else, or he or she, I don't know who it is.
Right.
If
For being the bigoted person, so that's not fair.
yeah, bigots are a protected class. They should be a protected
Right.
class too.
That same as
They're a
anyone else.
minority.
That I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
Right, because now I can go. Imagine if I walked into a gay, like a trainer who's gay, because they like to keep in shape and look good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you go to your gay trainer, and he goes, "Well, I can't train you because you're the bigoted guy." So
That's
he's like, "Well,
ridiculous.
that's discrimination."
Yeah, it's
That's what
discrimination.
I got in trouble for.
Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to deny me. I mean, bigots are a very small minority. There's not that many of them.
They're the biggest minority. All right, I feel like that's the end of the news topics that I wanted to cover.
Oh boy.
So
that's
now
me.
we can.
You guys like this hard look? I don't look like this that often.
It looks like
Yeah.
you're ready to be dictator of New Hampshire.
Dude, you're definitely selling mustache wax with that picture.
No joke. Someone sent me a mustache wax company. Sent me free mustache wax.
Really?
Yeah.
They're like, you look like shit. I'm sorry, you look handsome.
So let's start with, there was a recent episode on Rogan, which was really great. I don't remember the name of the guy, but he did.
Really great episode.
was it
though.
Dave? Was it
You're like, it
was
really-
it Dave, your friend?
No, Dave's episode was great. It was like 3 episodes back. A guy was talking everything about the New World Order.
Oh, the
and he was
former-
talking about, the best part was he was really getting into the problem with government currencies and the fact that they could like a government
Majid?
digital
The
currency.
Majid episode? Majid Nawaz?
Yes, and he plugged that he was only going to be on Odyssey, which was very cool.
That's my company,
And
by the
he,
way.
and he
Oh,
plugged
yeah.
that he only was going to be on there because of the decentralized nature of Odyssey. So can you give us the pitch here a little bit of what differentiates you guys from the other platforms?
Yeah, so I mean, you get these companies that are called alt tech, which I think is a label that a lot of them deserve because they're just trying to like clone what exists. Odyssey, I think, is successor tech in the sense that it's built in a way that's different what's come before, right? And so what you can do is you can take the same properties that Bitcoin has, which is you own your Bitcoin. There's not this intermediary that can control it. And we've done the same thing with digital publishing. So you can own your online identity, you own your channel. Those things can't be taken away from you. And so we think we've built something that's like genuinely better. And that's also why if you go on to Odyssey, and I like all the alt tech sites, so I'm not, trying to drag them. I support all of them. I support people who support, free expression, that kind of thing. But like, you're not going to find something that's like just the people who have been banned from places. You're going to find like all kinds of content, lots of very, very popular creators who, names you would recognize. You go on to odysee.com or you get the app and you can find, some really great stuff on there. And, we've got like 40, 50 million people using it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what is the decentralized element? So you guys can't Like it's in the bylaws that you can't censor people?
No,
Or
no
what is
bylaws. So
the-
we have a public blockchain. So
Right.
when you publish something, so
Oh,
first,
so you don't have access to even take things down because it's not like there's no mainframe.
so Odyssey does have policies where it will block content from its website, but that's blocking it, not taking it down. And then there's a network that you can access via other clients or other software, like Library Desktop or other things like that, where like we literally can't, you can use that software completely anonymously if you want to.
Right.
We won't know what you're doing. You can access whatever you want, that kind of thing. And so we literally don't have the control. And the same, it's new stuff. So, but the closest analogy is Bitcoin, where, if you want to send Bitcoin to me, that's no one else's business. That's my business and your business, and it's not the business.
So give us the
anyone else.
pitch on like I understand.
So wait,
Bitcoin.
how many videos do I have to post to Odyssey before I can get a brick of Coke? Because that's how Bitcoin was sold to me 12 years ago.
Yeah. So every new creator gets a free brick of Coke with the first.
Dope.
Oh.
Start my channel tonight.
Robbie got his about 30 minutes.
We're just gonna make Odyssey accounts and get those big ass jet skis from Cocaine Cowboys.
All right. So I understand the need for a decentralized currency. To keep it short, we're defunding the government. Give us the pitch for why decentralized ability to publish content is so important for humanity.
Well, I mean, we've seen this happen. I mean, it's like if you're not enlightened by the last couple of years, where and I'm not the biggest fan of Trump, but like Trump got deplatformed, and
While he was president,
Putin's waging a war and he's online. Like there's a political ideology that sort of captured most of Silicon Valley and big tech, which means we need to build new solutions that are resistant to that. And if you're trusting something that's quote alt tech, you're trusting that tech is you're trusting the CEO. But the truth is, Google was a good company around a decade ago. I was a big Google fan a decade ago. They became much worse. In this case, you have the same technology that's behind Bitcoin. You have open source. So I think I'm a good guy. I think as long as I'm in charge, I'm going to keep things this way. But even if I got, eaten by a mind worm that turned me into a, pro-China censoring everything,
right?
There's not that scenario where the things can play out
that's
the same way.
fascinating. I actually think because I think if you look at some of these tech guys, they've become something they weren't looking to be. I think Jack Dorsey, I think that's part of why he left Twitter. I don't think he was into that.
Agreed, yeah.
I don't think Zuckerberg was. I think what ends up happening is you get pulled into Congress and they kind of let you know, listen, you can either have your company or right, you can have your ideas or you can have your company. And if you want to have your company, you got to play by our rules.
Dude, I think on the way into the hearing, they just show them the hellmouth, and they're like, "That's where you're going if you don't do what we say."
No, it's not that. It's just being there and having to field the questions. You start getting the idea of, I need to pick a team. I have to start donating to that team, and I have to start listening to them.
Exactly. Yeah, because fucking Jack Dorsey, he's tweeting out fucking Anatomy of the State and shit like that, and then Twitter's still doing. Yeah,
but to your point, which is what's so interesting is that if you go, it's out of my hands. We've put decentralized rules in there. There's nothing I can do. You're somewhat protected from. That's what just happened. There was that incredible. I forget the name of the company. Once again, I'm half retarded. But Canada hit up one of these blockchain wallets saying we want the info, and they just sent them a letter you don't understand how the tech works. We can't do that. So what you're trying to do is basically create laws that by the decentralized nature, it's almost removed from you that if Russia were to straight up corrupt you, the actual technology is not going to change because it's out of your hands.
That's right. One other element in terms of the phenomenon you talked about, I'll mention, is that there's also this situation where even if Dorsey's a good guy, if 80%, and I'm not sure where he's at, but if 80% of Twitter employees or 90% of Twitter employees, want something to happen, we overestimate sometimes the degree to which a CEO has control over their company.
Right.
If 80% or 90% of your employees want something happening, they generally get it. So I do think that's also.
Damn, they don't even have dental. They just really wanted Trump out there that bad.
They did. I mean, that's why if you want to look at why Spotify even did the recent warnings on Rogan, I think that had much to do with the employees at Spotify really wanting something to be done. And I will say, we specifically don't hire people that believe in those things for that reason.
Now, I think there is. I gotta say, I'd like to be totally done with YouTube for two reasons. One is I already have a channel with 2 strikes on it, and I have no reason to self-censor. That is not fun to me. I don't do this content. Like that's not what I do. Like I'm not looking to self-censor and then trying to figure out what I can publish, what I can't publish. So now I'm just going live to a new account. That's not going to last. And then I just start wondering, like, even though it's not that I command a huge audience, but it's like, why do I contribute to this network at all? Like, they're evil. Why am I here in any capacity? And then the other thing I start thinking about is years ago, I got rid of a TV for my part. I don't have a TV. If I have a TV, I mean, I'm not great with self-discipline.
Can I just say, as somebody who's been in his apartment, I don't know if it's by choice. I'm just going to throw that out there. He has hangers in his shower that hold up the curtain instead of those little hooks.
I've been in his apartment too. I think the unwashed clothes took over the TV and
they assimilated it. It's the weird new board.
They're like, this is ours now, Robbie.
I have a great apartment with bricks of cocaine. I just want to clarify.
He's got 17 Odyssey accounts.
Yeah, dude, I've started. All the Odyssey accounts are mine.
No, but I used to, like, I was disciplined about, I got rid of video games. Now I find YouTube's like that thing that like you don't think about it like I'm turning on television, but it really is. You're like, I go there. Sometimes it used to be to listen to music, and then you end up going down your rabbit holes. Sometimes I do use it for good, like, or at least for me, because I'm following new stuff or I'm listening to like the congressional hearings. But I do find more and more it's like, why do I even engage with this platform? It wastes a lot of my time, and it's like, I mean, it's censoring me. It's censoring what I do. So I turn it back to you because it's so different. Like listen, I've been a content creator now I've been trying to do this like 11 plus years. And there are certain platforms where I mean, even so, it's not like the YouTube algorithm's plugging me, but there does.
First of all these people came out to see you. Just stop being down on yourself. All right.
Yeah, that is funny to have a room full of people that came to see you and you're like, no one likes me.
Well, no, to be fair, no one here has seen his apartment.
There you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to come off as self-deprecating like that. No, but my question is, it's annoying that there's a resistance of people, like even myself, who don't like YouTube, to get them to just go, hey, let's migrate over. So I'm curious because, I mean, it's like, what do you guys foresee to bring more traffic to the site? How's it growing? Like, you're the CEO. Give us the growth pitch.
Well, so it's really hard. Like I think you've highlighted a truth there, and so like I'm always I always try to be a realist, and so it's really hard if you like something to kind of like quit it cold turkey. And while we have a lot of great content on Odyssey, like not everyone you love is gonna be there. I think there's a tremendous amount there, so you'd be surprised how many people are now on there that you might like, as well as content.
You picked up some big ones recently. Yeah. Brett Weinstein was a big migrator.
Yeah, he's been live streaming and these other people. But I think like the number one thing to do, it's like you have effectively like a bad habit. When you're using some of these big tech sites that are bad, you have a bad habit. If you can fix your bad habit cold turkey and quit and go over, that's awesome. Kudos to you. But also you can do it in a way that maybe is more realistic for you, which is you create an account and you pick a couple of channels that are there that you like, and you make sure you always watch those. Or if you're a creator, we have tools to make it really easy to publish across multiple places. And if you're a creator, you make sure you do that. And so it's like, if you're trying to build up this new habit of doing things the right way, you've got to build it up the same way you build up other habits. If you have bad, whatever your bad habits might be, and everyone has some, I've got some, you have to fix them like a little bit at a time. And so I think that's like the number one thing, is just to start, to put your toe in the water and say, I'm going to watch this channel, or I'm going to watch these couple of channels on Odyssey, and create the account and do that.
So the people who have you're saying the people who have the mirrored accounts, like, so if somebody has an account on YouTube and an account on Odyssey, if you really want to support the platform, just go there for that.
At least go and watch that stuff.
No,
it's great all the way.
Right. Anything that you like that is on Odyssey, you might as well consume it on Odyssey.
Now, do you think it would help you out?
We actually have a plugin that does that. So you can get a browser
really?
plugin where you can get an Odyssey browser plugin
for like Chrome or something.
Yeah, for Chrome, Brave. I think it's on Chrome, Brave.
And your monetization's also better for like you're more out there. Like I would never even try and monetize on YouTube. I probably am currently monetized with the crypto.
Yeah, you are, and we've been expanding that. I don't know if this will get boos or cheers, but we are now adding advertisements. So you'll be able to opt out of this as well by paying money, because that should be your choice.
You guys had two choices: booze or cheers.
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
some fucking.
But it means it's more money for creators. And, creators create. Yeah. And so
Like Rob.
Yeah. So viewers will have a choice. If you don't want to watch ads, you can pay. I think it's going to be like $1 or $2 a month, and you'll have no ads. Otherwise, you'll watch. But it means the creators will make more money, and that hopefully means even more will come over.
All right, we got 2 more questions for you while you're on the hot seat. You're running for Senate. What's the big thing you're trying to accomplish on the Senate run?
Well, I mean, I think I'm about like as libertarian as it gets, right? And I think the future of libertarians being successful is here in New Hampshire.
That guy with a little dick clap real hard.
Yeah. So he's a libertarian.
Like, I just think everyone in this room fucking rules.
Yeah.
You pandering son of a bitch.
No, like, so I mean, the state should have a libertarian senator. Hopefully, the state is there already, and that will happen. But if it doesn't, I think like it's a win regardless. The more that we continue to amplify the state of New Hampshire, because like libertarians are winning here. It's like really the only place that libertarians are winning. And I think like I want to highlight that as much as possible in terms of my things that I do that aren't work. This is my biggest goal, is to highlight the fact that libertarians are winning in New Hampshire. We can win if libertarians concentrate. Like, we can actually win. Like, the world is getting worse, but New Hampshire is actually getting better. So I think New Hampshire deserves a libertarian senator. But certainly a big part of my campaign is like also making sure that libertarians know that like we have a real path to victory.
I love it. I got 2 jobs I want to pitch you on.
Yeah.
One, every time I watch one of these congressional hearings, I'm sitting there. It's like WWF to me. I'm like, put me in, coach. I would love to like be able to call audibles and like just like call bullshit and write questions. That's job number 1.
Just your music hits, you come out with the chair, just pong pong.
I will troll the hell out of Congress. If there's anything I have a successful track record where I'm demonstrated at being good at this, I'm a great troll.
All right.
And so that I will put my skills to work.
You're technically allowed to open carry a con, right? Like you could just show up with a gun and check it, right?
We'll find out one way or another.
All right, there we go.
Yo, dude, in the middle of your speeches, just twirl it.
Dude, yeah.
Be like, do you agree with me?
Like, even if they make you check your regular gun, bring a starter pistol in to twirl.
Now I have a TV show.
I will print one.
Yo, just go to
No, that's even.
What's more libertarian than that?
Because you can make the loop for the fucking trigger bigger, so you could really twirl it like fucking Peacock with it.
If they don't let me in with a gun, I'll come in with my 3D printer, which surely is legal.
In the room.
I will
And then
3D print
it?
a gun in Congress.
That's
a
fucking
campaign
cool.
promise.
Dude, I'm signing
Oh
up for
my God, that
17
is the
more Odyssey
pitch.
accounts tonight.
Jeremy4nh.com. Donations available if you want to get my message out there.
That's the best campaign promise I've ever heard. Trump didn't 3D print that wall.
All right. And then here's my TV show idea for you. Now, I don't think that you could legally do this, but I'm still going to pitch it. Like how they have Undercover Boss? Remember that show? So I want to do an undercover senator, and all you do is consumer advocacy that, like, if you get stuck on hold too long, like, you bring that CEO into Congress. Or if you go to a restaurant and there's shitty service, like, bring the fucking Papa John's guy in. I'm talking like...
I'm going to promise right now, you need someone brought into Congress. You text me.
Fuck yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm coming for you, Optimum. Dude, I've had this experience more than once where, like, you wait and, like, you finally get someone on the phone and they're only there to tell you that you can go and take care of this on the website. And I'm like, I called you because you can't do it on the website. And they're like, well, I can't even access it, so you have to go to the website. And it's like, so why are you on the phone with me right now? Someone in India could have answered this call for cheaper to tell me to go to the website.
Since I already said I'm a good troll, I'll now say a line that will get me booze. This is why we need social credit scores.
Ooh. Oh, that's tough. Wait.
No, I'm not actually endorsing that.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
I mean, you were
But it
so
would be-
hot on the
would-
on
Social
the,
credit scores the way they used to be, where you just call somebody a douchebag for being a douchebag.
Yeah.
That's hey, that's that douchebag that we all know from the bar. He stinks. You have Facebook
Right, when you,
now. Just
or,
put it on there.
Or when you could call a chick a slut. That's a slut. Now everyone knows. Or you
Social
could call
credit
someone,
score.
yeah.
That's a raised social credit score to
Right.
me.
That is the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that girl's a slut. Seems like a nice lady.
Yeah, bathroom walls were the original social credit scores.
All right. So
10-digit phone number. That's a high credit score, dude.
before we call it an episode, so you're running for Senate. You've already pitched that you love the state of New Hampshire, that this is a state that you think is good for libertarians. But why don't you, as we're in the Shell, which is a libertarian clubhouse affiliated with the Free State Project, and you guys are great. You've welcomed me here more than once. We plan to come back again. It's fun every single time. Why don't you give the pitch to the people of why they should consider moving to New Hampshire and getting into office so that you can print guns?
Well, you get to vote for me, although that's not the best. I mean, look, anyone who comes here will experience something and they'll say, I've never experienced something like this before as a libertarian. There are two people here on stage who said this tonight in their acts, right? You ever been to a place like this?
Well, I was here a year ago.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Well, you said it, Andy. You've never been, right? You've never been to
I've literally never been around this many libertarians at once.
Right.
Yeah. It's weird.
Just go buy drugs in the project.
But yet you want to do it again.
I kind of want to do it. Can you guys build up your comedy scene over here? You guys are kind of cool.
Well, you're now part of the movement, so that's not your job.
Sick.
But look, I mean, I think you don't. I think being convinced by something I'm going to say in the next minute or two is like unrealistic. So what I'll actually say is like, if you think there's a 1% chance this is possible, 2% chance it's possible, come up for a visit, spend a couple of days here. You can come anytime. Porkfest tickets are about to sell out, so that's a great time to come. But if you don't come then, you can come anytime. There's events nonstop. You know, like you look at like the largest libertarian event in a lot of states, it's like we have that like on a random Tuesday. You know, so it's like just come out. There's always something going on, and you'll get to experience it firsthand. So everyone likes a vacation. You know, you don't have to be mentally committed to moving here, but just come check it out. Come for a visit. Come for a vacation, and you might find that there's something here that's really beautiful, and that it's something you want to be a part of.
I gotta be honest. I've never had a man tell me to come so much.
And that is a good line to close out on. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Buy the anal condoms.
Yes.
All right, that's our